Warning: the following contains opinions that you might not agree with. It may also contain too much positivity that you might not be able to handle, but in all seriousness, viewer discretion is advised for the following program. Hello, and welcome back to the Admin Time podcast with your hosts, Jones Chua and...
Sammy, what's up, Jones? How are you?
Hey, all good, Sam. What's going on your front? Everything good?
What's going on with the what?
On your front?
Oh, my friend.
Yeah. So I too army already. Yeah, I too former to army already. What's going on your front?
Life's pretty good. I'm gonna be having my Christmas break like next week, starting like the 20th of December, and it'll be like a 2 week holiday for me and for those people in the Philippines. So, shout out dyan sa mga Tagalog speakers. Kumusta kayo dyan? Okay lang kayo? Okay? Okay? All good, all good. All right.
Right.
Okay.
And a Merry Christmas from the Admin Time podcast from myself and Sam. Merry Christmas to our Singaporean viewers and our Filipino viewers and the viewers all around the world. Yeah.
Yes.
For the millions watching around the world. Yeah, Vietnam. They've been through a lot. Yeah. So today we'll be discussing a topic on academics and career. So Sam, how do you? Sorry.
It'll be like a less controversial topic, because I think like all of these like episodes has been really controversial, like for example
Yeah.
like politics
Correct.
and then social media. Now we're just gonna ease off a little bit.
Yeah.
So
It's less controversial, slightly more subjective, but also more fact based, as we will be discussing some of the statistics that we brought up. So we're going to talk about academics and career. So Sam, how do you manage to balance work, school, and still continue to have time for yourself? Like maintain the study work life balance. How do you do that?
well, I think this everyone could relate to this. I mean, although people like, I mean, I'm sure some don't, but anyways, it will be having like a schedule. Like for like, I've actually mentioned this like before. Schedule is really important for me, and like every Sunday I would be doing up a schedule for myself so that I could follow some like have something to follow, and not just like do things like blindlessly and then like blindly. And yeah, but aside that, how I actually, because like I know people have a lot of like even though with this schedule, like they don't stay um guided with this schedule, and they still do face uh doing stuff on their own like likings. But for me, recently I've actually like had this. I mean, not, I'm still currently having it. It's called this lesson called understanding the self. I'm currently taking this course, and it really speaks a lot on having a purpose, so that you kind of like understand your identity like more. So um yeah, like purpose, and um yeah, that's one thing that has kept me committed to my dedicated routines and schedules. So that's how I kind of like balance it out. That's why there's like a even balance between school and work. But it actually like varies, because like I don't fully like, I also find myself fully not committed to the whole schedule thingy, because it depends on the type of work is being given out. So if there's like a specific task that we need to do and I need more time, I would need to like change my direction of the schedule. So I change the 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 priorities of the schedule. So yeah, I'll prioritize more stuff on to one subject and to another. So yeah, that's technically
Yeah.
how I keep my things like in order. Yeah. How about you, John?
But the course that you mentioned is part of your curriculum, is it?
The course? Yeah, it's part of my curriculum. Like it's a general subject.
So you get to you must take it lah. It's compulsory, is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Not like it's not in like in Singapore where if you're studying just one like for example engineering or like aerospace, like you only study that kind of like field. But here in the Philippines, it's much more like different. Like um compared to Singapore, I think they prioritize like mental health as well. So I believe they have this like um they have this kinds of uh less like curriculums, and they kind of like, because you know in IT we have uh what was it, life skills, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's uh very limited lah. Like I feel like um the Singaporean like education, um I mean I'm not criticizing it, but like I feel like there's more to be like improved in terms of like the address of like mental health and stuff. But which is a very good thing here in the Philippines. I'm quite grateful that this kinds of curriculums exist, because I feel like there's more to life rather than just work. And I feel like we do need to have some sort of like understanding within ourselves, and like the values and the moral values that we kind of learn and stuff. And I think those are really important, as well as they kind of like they help you more rather than just have like work, or every time work all this stuff. It makes life meaningless lah, technically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think now particularly MOE they focus more on your mental health as well. Yeah, as you mentioned,
Yeah.
because now if I believe the P1 and P2 got no exam. Then after PSLE they remove the T score, then they make it to a grade system. Because over the past few years we see like younger students, they commit suicide, and they have they're really pressured by their parents to do really well, right? So I think the government took into consideration to sort of
De-stress.
maintain the standard, yeah,
Yeah.
distress, maintain the standard, but also make it more sustainable lah.
Manageable.
Yeah,
Yes.
and yeah, manageable. Yeah, I think what you mentioned, the your course in Philippines, right? Actually, also it depends on the school. So in Singapore, I'm in Murdoch University. It's a Kaplan affiliate, right? They also prioritize a lot on mental health. One is one
Uh,
thing, but post post uh um post uni, right? They also have a lot of courses on how to um create your own resume lah, how to make yourself more employable, learn about certain careers, learn how to be at the job, in the job, right? You learn how to be more how to manage your time and your career properly lah, while also balancing the studies that we are also having lah. So they either put it in the, for me in my case, they put it in the first term, or in some other cases they put it in the last term. But I would say the best one is the you put it at the last term or semester when you are graduating, so that you
get
settle all
ready.
your, exactly, you settle all your modules first, and then you go through this lah. But it
Yeah.
doesn't matter lah, cause my school offers this lah, so it's similar to yours lah, which is good lah. It's
Mm.
not all studies mah. It's 1 quarter preparing yourself, 3 quarter is the core modules. Yeah, and also it's not cause I take international business and management. They got other majors also having this course as well to
It's
prepare
kind of
students.
implemented
Yeah, correct.
implemented into the.
Yeah,
This
and
is very
and
nice.
yeah, and like yours is compulsory lah. So
Mm.
so it's not catered to business students, but engineering,
Everyone.
mass comm, yeah. For myself, how I balance school life balance is, I see, like you, I see my day to day or week to week schedule. So on a school week, I would have like 1 or 2 lessons per week, and then if I have lessons in a week, I try to make myself free, and just focus my attention on the lessons lah. If I have schoolwork to do, then I will do on the same day, so that my memory is still fresh. Then if I got other side hustles to do, let's say editing this podcast, or my dropshipping store, or spend time with family, workout, then I will prioritize day to day itself, like what time should I sleep, so that I can wake up, have a good 8 hours, 8 or 30 minutes of rest. Then
Yeah.
walk Bailey, uh, to touch on some assignments. But it's more like block scheduling lah. If I have like 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. right, free, right, then I will focus all my attention on these 4 hours to team all my work. Then I can have more free time lah. But it comes to a drawback lah, because if I find myself, I have this mentality that I tend to settle all my work, which is good. But then if I settle all my work already, then I got nothing else to do. So that's like the drawback. But I rather not procrastinate and finish all my work than procrastinate. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have the same kind of like idea to start to prioritize like the school first rather than
Mm.
other things as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very true.
Although I can see some students, they also take up part time job mah. Then they
Yeah.
they might not have time to prioritize their work as well. Maybe they do 1 hour in one day, after the next day 1 hour. They sort of split up. But so I cannot really compare. But in my case, I tend to finish all the work first, so I got other things to do that I can just schedule accordingly. Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know about Philippines, but SG, right, we got the uni dropout rate. About
Yeah.
I think about 1.6%. About I think 2 or 3 years ago, the students tend to drop out, but that's quite a low rate. But compared to 10,
It's
20 years ago,
really-
like 2008,
Yeah.
15, 20 years ago, the dropout rate was about 3.6%. So it decreased lah. I mean, in 10 to 15 years till now lah, it decreased lah. But still, it's quite low. But I don't know about Philippines. But I know other countries their dropout rate is damn high.
Yeah, like I'm actually very shocked that it's that low. I thought it'd be like a 13% or something like that, but it's actually 1%. It's that's very surprising and very like actually just surprising. But
Yeah.
from my end, sadly, it's a whopping 83.7% dropout rate.
Huh, serious? 83%.
Yeah, that's why I found.
Do you know if this is uni or the entire school system? Or?
Uh,
I mean, okay, assuming it's the entire school system, then
I think it's the entire schools. I mean, if you look at the factors, I think it's much more kind of like relatable if like you're in a very like if you're in a developing country like the Philippines,
Mm.
and I think some of these factors are like, for example, they don't really have much support from family, like for example financially, right? Like they wouldn't have the financial means to like continue and finish uni and stuff.
That's true.
And another thing is for example like unexpected pregnancy and stuff, and then they would prioritize having the family first rather than having you finish the whole entire like school.
Mm.
And I think these are just some of the reasons why they actually I mean, some stop because they feel like it, like they don't want to continue and stuff, and like they which is also sad sad to talk about cause like it's school, I think school is important, like if you truly want, but then of course like we can't really say for everyone that school is beneficial for you, because like some people who don't really have a degree get to like succeed in life as well, so
Yeah,
you can't
like
really, it is subjective as well.
mm.
Yeah.
I think as you mentioned, the factors as well. I will add on is their time and the stress. Like they feel that, okay, I got other like commitments, then I just want to drop out of school so that I can focus more on this. Let's say part time work is more beneficial, and my work can sort of in a few years we have a proper career pathway lah, rather than I go to school. Yeah, I think it's more on the finances and the stress, the stresses of being a student at uni. Yeah, that will be all for I assume both Singapore and Philippines and throughout the world more finance lah. What are your thoughts about society needing to get more than just diploma That means diploma level, they have to stop already.
I actually believe that it's much more better to much more better now. Um, wait, let me just rethink of my answer again. Um,
To
Society needing much more.
to attain to upgrade yourself and attain a degree.
Uh, I mean, cause like it's kind of like subjective as well. Cause like uh, you have to truly like learn their performance as well. Like not I mean not just like educational. Like of course like education is very important, but um for me this need that they're trying to push is very excessive. Cause yeah, you might have qualified workers, um but don't you think they are like kind of like limiting it, like they're not solving the lack of manpower, because a lot of people are saying like oh we need people because like we have lack of manpower, and then they set a bar so high that I that for example people like in developing countries like the Philippines, like
Mm.
they can't attain that, and it's very very limiting to them lah as well, because like um I feel like companies should look for people who wants to work,
Yeah.
like who's eagerly uh has very good work ethic values as well, rather than just oh because I have a degree I'm more employable than you kind of stuff. And I think it's very like this kinds of like the culture is very uh it's something that it can be improved lah.
Mm.
And uh and I think that work ethics in general is much more important than certification itself. Because
Correct.
like even though certification um is there, I mean it is to be looked for. But if you are willing, if you are showing interest in something, I think you should kind of like I think some companies like do this. Like for example, they would like for example the study now uh pay later kind of schemes like they do in like some companies, which I think is a very very idealistic way to like recruit people who kind of want to work in the industry. Um, I think that's for like pilot schools and stuff. But yeah, it is very interesting to me because like I'm actually gonna be applying to those like soon after I graduate from uni. So yeah. Um, Uh, yeah. Other than that, I have not much things to say about other than being it like being it as a very bad like very limiting thing.
Mm. I think
If you yeah
I think society could have a more balanced view and approach, because
yes
it depends on case by case mah. So
mm,
so for example, let's say we take a factory setting. So a student who just graduated from MP diploma of let's say software engineering, and then a NTU degree in software engineering as well. So I think the balanced approach would be, assuming both wants to work, right? Then the diploma holder goes to a more factory based setting where he does all the hands on work. Then the degree holder does more of the upper management, those kind of work. And because assuming that both want to work, right, they both are employed by the same company, but because of different education, they got a different job title. Obviously the degree holder is has a much more seniority than the technician lah, the software engineer lah. But then if assuming both has high work ethics, right, then the diploma holder can go and upgrade himself, and then he has maybe in like 3 or 5 years later he will have a career progression in the same company. Then he may even take over the job as for from the degree holder. But as long as he has the same high work ethic and the same studying and working in the same industry, then there's a high chance of him promoting to upper management lah. Yeah, but there again is subjective. But then I think this the balanced approach lah. It shouldn't be like society shouldn't view you as, oh, you got no degree, you confirm cannot survive, you confirm cannot get into a job. You can get into a job. Of course, it won't be as high paying as the degree holder, but then you still want to get a job, and you have that this safety net lah, this security of getting a job first. After what you want to do in life, you want to upgrade yourself or you want to stay, it's completely up to you lah. You know, a job shouldn't be viewed by the number of degrees or number of certifications you have. It's the person whether he enjoy it and whether he want to succeed and upgrade himself or herself. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about more personal. What influenced you to choose your current degree?
I feel like being part of the design industry has always been a dream for me. Like ever since like during my secondary school days, like you know DNT, right? Like design and technology. I think that's the one that sparked it, because it's very like thought provoking, and like it gets you thinking, man. Um and I'm actually proud of my like inventions. Like though it didn't give me like a good grade, because like I didn't really put much effort into the I feel like those are really important as well, like the documentation as well, as to how you came up with this product and stuff.
Is it the
But like
journal?
the what?
The journal.
The journal, the design journal.
The biggest one, right? The A3
Yeah,
paper. Yeah.
issue paper. Like, you
Yeah.
have to bind it as well.
Yeah.
It's it's really nice. It, it how I say this, like I would actually imagine myself like presenting to a group of people that, oh, this product is, benefits like everyone, and like um you kind of thing, and like, and then you somehow get like a lot of applause, like Steve Jobs, like that, like, kind of,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, like I really enjoyed that part of like that part of my secondary school days, like getting to, like, it gave me a lot of passion. Like I think that's where all my passion went to, like in school. Uh, and then like other than that, the other reason why I actually wanted to pursue multimedia arts is, I believe that all of these jobs, like like for example, some jobs are being replaced by robots, right? I feel like design is the least possible, the least, I think it will be like one of the last few, or maybe not even considered to be some jobs that you can replace, because I feel like design is always something that you can always have, and
Correct. Yeah.
you'll never get irrelevant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand why some industries or most industries rather want to automate their process, but then you cannot fully automate it because it needs a human
Yeah.
touch, and
Yeah.
and AI, if they were to think, right, they is so limited compared to what a human mind can achieve, especially when it comes to design.
Yeah.
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 Now, were your parents agreeable with what you're taking right now, MMA?
At first, no. At first, no. They didn't like, as a Filipino, um, they rather want me to have uh like other well-known jobs, like for example being a doctor, and like, but being a designer is a very, uh you need to keep working on things, and it's not as constant as those doctors jobs where you just
Mm.
work by the hour. Mine is more on the effort base, because like if you don't put in the effort, then they won't pay you, so you really need to, it's a very demanding job, as well. And I understand the demand, but I feel like that's like the passion that I have, and I was able to convince them. I mean, they were open for me to actually select my course of my liking. Like they didn't stop me from, they didn't actually like stop me from uh going to, like, even if it's not multimedia arts. It's like, for example, maritime, something like that.
Mm.
They'll just let me. My choices are all open. Yeah. So um they they realize that, yeah, there's like this demand that they need people like me, and they feel like my passion, like I can use it to people's needs, and
Mm.
they found it to be very purposeful. That's why they kind of like they fully support me.
That's good.
So yeah, yeah. How about yours, Jones?
The mine was we start from IT. So both of us were from IT, right? Which engineering sector do you take in IT?
Aerospace avionics.
Okay. Okay. It's more. Yeah, I think aerospace quite. Yeah, it's a booming industry. Yeah,
Yeah.
from few years ago and then now. What were your parents' thoughts on it at that point of time?
Well, I'm still keeping I'm still keeping my options open. So it's not that I've decided that I'll be a full time designer, but like if I could get something that's very constant, because I feel like if I just stayed on one thing, that I wouldn't. If let's say I fail on design, then I don't know where to shift to. So um being a pilot is another thing.
Mm.
So yeah, I chose that. Um, what was your question again? The about the aerospace avionics thing.
Your parents' notion on you taking up
Oh, oh,
aerospace at the
oh.
point of time.
Uh, they, they actually okay. During the whole school year, uh, my dad kind of like didn't really supported it because like I'm learning the very basic thing, like for example, uh is it wire locking or certain stuff? Yeah, I think it's wire locking, where you use the wire to like to secure a joint, like for example a a screw uh, a screw and like some kind of tool, uh, and then it's kind of like um we can learn this stuff like on the spot, and like he feels like the things I am learning in school can be learned at
Mm.
home, like and but yeah, that like still though it's a very recognized uh I think the recognition of the whole entire course makes the whole uh argument valid, that that I am in this, I am in IT, so um they, although they have some few doubts about it, they still supported it.
Mm. So
Yeah.
would we say that they okay you took aerospace in IT but then now you also take M&A, so would you feel that they would think that you are sort of more diverse in your education, that you have two talents instead of just focusing on one?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's good that they support that lah, because you got two.
Yeah. Yeah.
Despite of course, obviously
They were
not.
wondering at first. They were wondering
Mm.
at first of why I took up why such a big jump,
Mm.
and um like, well, another reason why I actually took up design um is that once I'm in the aerospace industry, once I'm a pilot, I could still work like as a hobby.
Mm.
I could still work projects and stuff, and which is one of my dreams. I like to, like, while I'm flying, or while I'm on break, I could like do some projects I could do, and
Yeah.
yeah, that's like one of my goals, to work um to to work on things that you are passionate about,
Correct.
so
Yeah.
that's the common notion that I have,
Yeah.
with this, like the whole plan. So it's kind of a plan that I've actually like thought about, like very hard, but yeah, they were supportive about it as well. So
I can imagine you as a pilot, then you flying, then you put autopilot, then you just draw. Like you put
that
you
was the
you put your
that
leg
was
you put your leg
the
on the steering wheel, then after you just sit back and draw. Then you draw the sky. Actually quite sure.
yeah, I feel like that's a very I actually thought of that, like the whole like the scenery that I'll be looking at while I'm drawing.
Correct
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh, like then imagine I'm going to, like for example, Abu Dhabi or Morocco.
Ah
Then I'll be sitting down in the hotel, like looking at the view, and I'll be just
wow.
drawing.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
the life. Actually, that's the life. You study aviation and then you work as a pilot or aerospace industry related. which is quite lucrative, and you also do
Mm.
design. And which is something you're passionate about. Then that's the
Mm.
dreams, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
I mean,
yeah. One
yeah,
one.
cause like my dad, like, uh, my dad has always told me that you shouldn't be an employee. You should always have your own business as well, and um, you shouldn't be a slave to a company. You should always like um think about yourself as well. Like you shouldn't be just focusing on the betterment of a company that they are benefiting from. You
Mm.
should also, cause like I feel like those people had the same mindset that when they have like a business, and my dad is very business oriented kind of person. So um he want the money to work for him. So uh that that kind of like gave me some like insight to what I actually want. So uh he told me that you should uh be work at a job that you actually enjoy doing. So yeah, this like the path. This is what made me like kind of curve the path of like what I want in life. So
Mm.
yeah, it's very purposeful as well. So yeah.
It's like Andrew Tate escaping the Matrix, right? But if you don't mind me asking, what are your parents working as?
Oh, so my dad was a uh he actually worked many jobs like throughout his okay, let me just start from the start. I mean it's okay to like to like because he has a lot of like jobs as well. So
Oh, is
this
his main job scope lah? Like, is it
no, because
business or is it
like he
sales?
keeps on jumping. No, he does. I mean, currently he does business,
Mm.
but like okay, let me
Okay,
just
you
start when
start from
because he's
scratch.
retired.
Uh,
He's actually retired. So
okay.
I couldn't really say about the business part. So um he he works in uh SIM,
Oh,
the
uh,
university,
yeah.
including my mom. Like both of them are working in SIM, and my dad works as a call center. Uh, it used to be like a security guard kind of thing, and like um facility officer. Yeah, facility officer.
Mm.
He's in charge of the rooms and stuff, and like
Ah.
whether the rooms are like booked and stuff, and the booking of the rooms basically. And then it went on to being a photographer, so he kind of knows all these like cameras and stuff. And uh then I think like the latest was the um it was the call center management. So he was the one that's picking up the calls and stuff, and like doing all the queries and stuff. So yeah, he has done a lot of jobs. For my mom, she was the one that like you know those cashiers like
Mm.
in SIM, like for you to pay
Ah.
your monthly was it monthly? No, like the
Oh,
semesterly
like service stuff.
tuition fees.
As in she was a part of the service stuff lah. The one at the like the
Yeah,
front desk, collecting
yeah.
payment from students. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So that was like that was her job scope. But yeah, yeah, those were the jobs that both my mom and my dad worked. And I'm actually quite blessed that they are working in the same company because like they get to like talk and stuff. And yeah, you
So
know.
that's where they met lah.
No,
SI.
no, 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 no,
Or
no.
they met before that
They
or what?
met they met way before that, bro.
Whoa. Wait, so okay, so they met way before that. After that, they decided to work together as I.
Yeah,
Is it?
I kind of like influenced them to work in in the same company. So, uh, I don't know what's the reason why my mom left the previous job, but when I said that, I kind of gave them the idea to like work at the same company together. So I was like,
Oh.
yeah, why not? So yeah,
Oh, you're
that's
born
how.
already,
Yeah, bro.
I thought just
Oh
now
yeah.
previously when you mentioned both of them working at SI, I thought they met at SI.
Oh no.
Ah, I see.
I'm already like 10 years old that
Oh,
time.
wow, 10 years old, you so mature, ask them to work together like family, eh?
I think I was a very family oriented person, so
Yeah.
that's why I said that. Yeah.
So
So
that your dad is more like telecommunications guy, or rather, okay, your parents were more service oriented lah. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. The reason why I didn't talk about my journey first is because I know that both of us share similar educational routes. So we started with
Yeah.
IT. Yeah, I mean after secondary school lah. So at IT I did electronics engineering. Then at the point of time, my parents felt that okay lah, because you don't do O level, you after N level you take the DPP route mah. Then that's the only sort of thing you can do my electronics engineering. So not bad lah. My father was quite well versed in it lah. Then after that went to Kaplan, right, because my GPA couldn't make it for local poly. As a matter of fact, I tried to give all the testimony, all that stuff to all the 5 or 6 polys, but didn't receive it. Then I ended up in Kaplan, which was a good blessing, about 2.2.
For higher NITEC or NITEC?
High NITEC.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, but the thing is, some local poly courses allows me to go through with a minimum score of 2 only, and then and then mostly it's 2.5 lah. So if had I chosen the proper course, I would have gone to local poly lah. But the thing is, the question is whether I enjoy it or not. IT okay lah, all the mixing all the bad friends is quite memorable lah, looking back at it lah. But then in terms of education wise, I wasn't so interested in electronics engineering, so I don't think I would be interested in the local poly courses that they offer with a minimum of 2 GPA. So going to Kaplan was a blessing because with the financial means to pay, and I can do business. And back then was my diploma was business and information management, so it's a mix of business and then a bit more on IT management, a bit of coding lah. So I enjoyed the business part, but IT was like so. Then came diploma. Not diploma. NS after that Murdoch U, which is I'm currently doing international business and management lah. So the progression from Kaplan diploma to Kaplan degree, right, is mostly all business already, which my parents encouraged lah, cause they're all business oriented as well. My dad, before I would say retired, but semi-retired, when he left the job lah, he was a sales director, and then before that he had also some expertise in electronics engineering. I think my dad was from NTU, I think, or NUS, I forget already. But he did his masters in business in NUS. Yeah, and then my mother as well. So my mom is now like a project manager overseeing Southeast Asia in SAP. So it's still considered business lah. So that's why they encouraged me to take a more business path. But personally, it's not because I take business course to please them, but also I see business as it's happening around the world. You know, economics, how startups try to incorporate all these business methodologies into it so that they can grow. I think almost everything can be business, right?
It's just really
Yeah. Then it's quite lucrative lah. I mean, okay, it's quite broad, but then I want to learn the aspects of business in school rather than like from just YouTube or from other people or when I start a job. I remember I had a conversation with Sir John. He said, why not you go focus on, let's say, IT. Then after that you have a career in IT, and then you start to learn business while you're working. So I thought I'm not really interested in IT and coding, all that stuff. So why I just do the reverse lah. I rather study business and then I find a niche instead of finding a niche and studying a niche. Then after that incorporate the business part. When I study, I look at the broader view instead of just focusing on a niche like IT or software engineering. Yeah, because business is all around the world. Yeah. But that's about it lah. I would say that both our parents, although they may see us as started at IT, but then I guess they start to realize that we are following our passions, and they're supportive of it lah. Yeah. So the next one would be I think do undergrads like both of us, do we pursue a degree for the sake of the degree of the paper, or do we actually want to achieve it? You know, like personal achievement.
I think the notion has like kind of like made us want the certificate as well, and I think it kind of converted it into like personal growth. So for me, it will be like both. But it depends. Depends on what's your like. If let's say you're about to ask to someone else, I think it really depends on what's your purpose, and uh yeah, I just think that it's both the document and for the personal achievements as well.
Yeah, actually, I agree with you. Especially, would Philippines be the same? Right? What's your society or culture like when it comes to degree? Because Singaporeans like, or you must have a degree so that you can survive. But what's the notion in Philippines?
If you can work lah.
It doesn't matter if you got degree or not lah. Is that it?
Yeah, yeah, because like degrees can be attainable like throughout your life, and uh, I guess they kind of prioritize work first.
Mm.
Yeah, like have the like you must have like kind of like an experience of like working, and I mean you see like developing countries like they I I would say just because of the limitation of the financial capabilities, right? I think this kind of like forces them into working. So um I wouldn't say that they don't prioritize studying, just that they don't really have the means, like the financial means to like continue studying. So um I think yeah I basically think that work is very important.
Yeah. I also on a personal level would rather work than achieve a degree first to
Yeah.
get the experience. Because
Mm-hmm.
you're going to be working for like assume let's say 30, 40 years, and you
Yeah.
study only like less than 5 years. So you
Mm.
might as well garner all the experience you can. And after that, if you
Yeah.
want to, if you let's say aiming for a manager position and they require you to get a degree, then by all means, I think I foresee myself and probably yourself, because we are at the end of what, how long's your course? 2 3 years?
For if I'm not wrong.
4 years?
For
Okay, mine's about two. So I assume both of us, after 2 to 4 years of after studying our degree and attaining it, right, you get into a job. Then if we want to have a higher upper management position, I would assume the company wants us to go and attain another degree, so you can get this get a higher chance of promotion lah. I mean that's how I predict it lah. It's like for me achieving another masters in business law, something like that, just to get a higher position that I want. But I think
yeah.
in general in Singapore now okay, I would say now it's more slightly like relaxed cause um you don't really have need to have a degree to get a job like as we mentioned, you can get a job, but then it's not going to be as high paying as the one who has a degree. And you can also, if you have funds, you can start up your own company now, because as I said, the business world is evolving. So as it evolves and expands, it needs more sort of occupants to start more businesses, so the economy can grow at a healthier and fast paced rate lah. But I do have some stats here, assuming we are okay, not assuming, but um looking at the point of view of fresh grads. So we got 94.4% of uni grads found permanent freelance part time jobs. That means the jobs basically doesn't have to be full time or part time. Just jobs basically. But about 84% uh full time have full time roles. So like so like about 10% is freelance and part time, but only 84% is full time roles. So in total, about 94% post graduating, they got a job, which is actually quite high lah in the last year. And but these are students from our local U, like NUS, NTU, all that. It doesn't count the private U's just yet. Do Philippines have similar stats? when it comes to fresh grads graduating from local universities getting a job in the end?
Mm, it's very hard for us to like judge on about the stats as well, because like over here like it's not quite as the news here is not like as they look at the statistics on whether the fresh grads going into work. It's more like um the un the employability rate of basically the Philippines as well. So um we are more on the it's actually very
It's quite
very hard.
confusing, right? The stats. So, yeah,
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
help to research on Philippines side, but it's really
yeah.
damn broad. I think would the population size be one of the factor? Like you can't really get much information from rural areas.
Um, yeah, it's because of it's also because of the geographical sites from like where you were like it's not like it's all of it is like not all of them are available.
Mm.
So it's very hard to say about the employability rate compared to like Singapore and like the like basically the statistics as well. It's just very hard for us to like find
Mm.
um due to the the current technology that we currently possess.
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah, very hard to say.
So I guess as you mentioned, the culture of Filipinos is that work is just work, lor. It doesn't matter if it's like a low paying or high paying job, but you just work for the sake of working. You get some income, and then if you choose to attain as a diploma or degree, that is up to you lah. To upskill
Mm,
yourself lah, basically.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Do you believe in the notion that undergrads should choose a degree, ultimately a career that's relevant in today's society?
Mm,
So let's say right now we are more focused on let's say software engineering, coding. Then do you think students should go down that path of
degree.
go down that degree and the career journey, or depends on what the student wants and not follow
I
society
think
norms?
having a degree is a must, but um, it really depends on the path you take. So for example, like business, like um, you don't really need a like now nowadays like you don't really you don't you kind of like have the trend of businessmen having businesses without having a degree.
Mm.
So it's like it depends on where you're going. So for example, like if you're like for example like I think for me like in aerospace, talking about aerospace, um I think it's important that you have the degree. It's not really the notion. It's more like it's important that that you have this kinds of certification.
Mm.
So um yeah, it really depends on which career path, like which industry you're going into. Yeah. So yeah, technically if you have the chance to get a degree, then by all means. Yeah.
I think also it's based on whether this student doesn't really know what he or she wants,
Mm,
and then he or she feels that, oh, this industry is going to be lucrative, so I go take this career, I go take this degree, and then ultimately this same career. Yeah, but I think that's the case of if someone don't really know what he or she wants. But for us, we both know that we know what we want, ma, so we just pursue, ma. And then but it's also a cycle, you see. If now software engineering, data analysts, all these are quite hot, but then 5 years down the road, it may not be anymore. It may be something else. So it's a cycle. So I guess yeah, I agree with you. Just achieve the degree that you want. It's better lah, instead of like chasing things that will like die down, like trends lah, you know. I mean, sure, if in your spare time you want to do it, then okay lah, by all means lah. But you must see whether it really is time consuming, or if it's not, then whether it progresses your career efficiently. If not, then it's okay, ma. I mean, if 100% goes through this, then what about the other? There won't be anyone taking, let's say, MMA. Yeah.
Mm.
If everyone does business, then who does multimedia designing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like roles, specific roles to like
Yeah.
fill in. Like everyone can, anyone can be a businessman, but not everyone uh can achieve that.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we both of us can have like business acumens, but then I don't think I can be as a gifted artist as you are. You know.
Uh,
See,
thanks.
I mean, you can follow Sam's Instagram to see more of his artwork, and our thumbnails as well, all done by him. I mean, not the first two the first two done by me are quite shitty Photoshop work but then compared to what Sam does is like universal part, like no, what's that term, like miles apart compared to,
Astronomical.
like astronomical. Yeah. I do have stats concerning fresh grads, that they the sort of the percentage and the rates of which industries the fresh grads are going to. So if I take the first one, art, design, media, which relates to you, in 2021 about 92.6% of fresh grads went to this industry. So it's still quite high. Actually most of the what are all in the 90s. The but the art one is the second last, but still at the still above 90% lah, which is 92.6 lah. The last one is humanities and social sciences. The highest would be 97.8, which is information and digital technologies. Exactly what we mentioned lah. IT lah, software engineering, digital, in our digitized world. That's exactly most of the students when are taking this degree and pursuing the career in IT lah. 97.8% of it, which is the highest. For business is 97. So it's like in between. I would say actually the second one. So
Close to 100. It's like most of them like got the position they actually like got the job they actually kind of like desired lah.
yeah, I mean, yeah lah, not just the desired ones, but the industries that we know are gonna be there forever, especially business. But right now, because if you're talking short term, if you're talking about the more digitalized world, then everyone is going, or rather went for information and digital technologies because it's the highest. But again, as I said, five years down the road, it may be different. Maybe art would increase from 92.6 to, let's say, 95. Depends on industry. But business being second is actually also quite high because, as we mentioned, it's always there. Yeah. The then moving on to our next question, I think it will be more relevant. Do you think fresh grads or working adults pursuing a career that is not related to their degree is getting more common?
I think for my case, for what I've seen, like they have their own like purposes. So um, I do think it's I do think in my culture, I believe it has always been normal for Filipinos, like having having jobs but not related to their degree, because all of them just wants to work and to have like to have something going on, rather than just staying home just because you can't achieve that certain job you wanted.
Mm.
And um they're very work oriented, like they rather like most of us rather work rather than staying at home lazing around and stuff. So there's like a drive to actually work, even though they don't it's not related to their degree. For example, like my mom and dad, they my mom having a engineering degree, and my dad uh I think automotive technical degree, IT. Yeah. um Both of their jobs are not related to it,
Mm.
like in their degree, and still they they got to like some sort of position. I mean, it's not really a high position, but like they still get promoted as well. And I think that's what matters to them. And because like they make things sustainable, and like um as long as they get the money, the money coming in, it's it's all good lah,
Mm.
technically. Yeah,
Yeah.
really speaking. Yeah.
I think in my point of view, it can be looked through in two lenses. One is, okay. Let's say Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean. He got a degree in electrical engineering, but he went on to pursue acting.
He's a doctor, right? If I'm not wrong.
I'm not sure whether he is a doctor or not, like a lottery. I'm not so sure, but I remember, if I'm not wrong, he got a degree in electrical engineering. So obviously it's miles apart ma, from electrical engineering and acting. But I guess it's just for the degree, especially so in our Singaporean society. You achieve a degree and then you work a completely unrelated career. So for example, if I were not to take business, right, I would go electronics engineering from ITE to now, right. I would probably not enjoy it, but I will still attain the degree of electronic engineering, and then when I work, I will pursue like say sales, something like that. So it's completely different path. But the second lens, I would see if in my school got a lot of working adults as well. They take part time, or they either take a hiatus or quit their job to do full time. Basically to upskill themselves lah. So if they had last time they had a degree in, let's say masters, sorry, not degree, masters, degree in business, right? Then right now they will go to Kaplan to take a degree in IT, for example. So that as you mentioned, to upskill themselves one thing, and they want to they seek a higher career opportunity lah, in upper management lah. That's quite rampant in private education like Kaplan, James Cook, PSB, because I guess it's they are more catered towards working adults. I'm not so sure about NUS, NTU, but I guess the private education would cater more to this category lah, the working class adults lah. Especially so yesterday and or rather 2 days ago, Wednesday and Thursday, right, I attended this free entrepreneurship course conducted by the school. That I was the only student of, let's say, 20 of us, right. I think 18 or 19 were actually working adults. They took time off to go and study entrepreneurship, and they all came from different backgrounds lah, all IT lah, marketing lah, wanting to start their own business. And I chanced across this guy. He was doing logistics, but then he's currently waiting for his journalism degree. So I asked him, so what progression do you see in attaining this degree in your logistics company? Then he said, not much lah. It's like I only get the degree to have a sort of a higher chance of being promoted lah. But if you look at industry wise, how does journalism tie into logistics, you know? So I asked him, what's your career progression gonna be like lah? Then he said the next 1 year he's definitely gonna stay in his logistics job. After that he see how the next few years. But you see,
That related lah.
sorry.
Like you said, journaling, right? Like it could tie in with communication as well. You think?
I guess so lah, because if you boil down to the core modules of a degree, right, actually it's quite diverse. So you got I guess you got communication as well. You got a bit of marketing, a bit of workplace law in my case. Yeah, but is you wouldn't really, upon hearing this, you wouldn't really tie in journalism to logistics, unless unless you are just attaining the degree just for the sake of promotion, like in your case, your parents' case, engineering, but then got different jobs and still get promoted, or you just want to stay in your job for 1 year or so, like the case of the guy I just met, and see how it goes lor, quit the job and then do something that's related to journalism lah. Like maybe he go work at CNA or something like that. Yeah, so I guess the 1 year is a stopgap. Yeah, but the point is, I think it's getting more and more common, I would say, especially one, to those working adults that want to upgrade themselves, and two, for those students that don't really know what degree to achieve. to attain it, then they just go ahead. Then only when they come out from school, then they know what they want. Then they know it's completely unrelated already.
Yeah.
Yeah. The do you feel that okay now we mentioned private education institutes like James Cook, like Kaplan for my case. Do you feel that companies these days prefer hiring students from local U like NUS, NTU to hiring students from Kaplan? Do you feel that way? Uh, okay, I think the good example would probably come from Philippines lah. I'm not so sure about this, but do Philippines have like a NUS NTU equivalent?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then you can also compare it to private education. Do you have
Okay,
similar?
we compare prestigious schools. Like for us, we compare prestigious schools over like local what do you call this government schools.
Mm.
So instead of having those kinds of like actually um I think it's local unis and private education because like those prestigious schools are mostly private, but then they have just been around for so long that it's kind of considered as a local kind of
Ah, I
thing.
see.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Is there do you feel that or rather see a bias between the in the hiring process?
I actually couldn't judge because like um I feel like those people who who are from like those technical government. I don't know if it's government. Those technical schools, um, they they usually outperform the prestigious schools that exist today. So uh, I wouldn't say that their employability rate will be lesser for those people who are in the locals.
Mm.
Um,
But
it's very hard to judge.
ideally I think it's subjective, right?
Mm,
Yeah.
depends on the company. If the company sees that, if the company is looking for the like the personal skills and stuff, then they will like look towards like local unis. But
Mm.
if they're talking about like the prestigious of how like how well known the school is, like for example like LaSalle or like Ateneo, which is like your equivalent to your uh, it's actually very different. Like NUS, all these like all these are like local unis, but our local unis are like much more like not as prestigious as the private unis.
Mm.
So it's like the opposite lah, where uh, is it the opposite where local unis are being hired rather than the private uni?
Wait,
Correct.
for Philippines
It's
is
what
opposite.
for Singapore, for Singapore
Oh no, Singapore is local U first.
local U.
Local U higher.
Uh
Yeah. Actually,
over here it's like the name of the school. So it's like the prestigious schools. So
mm.
it's like the opposite for us. So it's like private uni first, then I mean
Oh, okay.
not just private uni, but like private is like private and prestigious schools
Mm.
first, rather than lesser known local unis.
Ah.
Yeah, cause
Right.
cause over here it's more on the geographical uh the the place where you're from. So if let's say you're from a province far from the city, you're much less recognized. Your school is
Mm.
much less recognized. And for schools that are in Manila or in any of the main capitals, uh, they are more like recognized. So yeah, it kind of depends on which uni are you attending.
Yeah, makes sense. But okay, if you're a hiring manager, what would you prioritize first? Will you prioritize the status of the uni, or will you prioritize the individual, whether he or she is employable or not, and does not matter
Individual.
what you.
It's very practical to if you are looking towards individual. I don't think you would have a problem with manpower.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think I
cause
would.
you Yeah, you may go to the best school, but if your work ethic like shit, I won't hire
Exactly
you.
right. Yeah, yeah. I also have that. I also have that similar notion. But the thing is, if other people got the same notion, that's the different question. Yeah, I mean,
Mm,
because that's how society function lah. I mean, there's definitely a
subjective lah.
biasness. Yeah, it's subjective, and I feel that there definitely is a biasness to it.
Mm,
The hiring process, but not that, not so much lah. Not so much into, like if it's not so drastic. Actually, I have stats here from a
mm,
proportion of graduates in the labor force who were employed by from say Kaplan or James Cook. You got from Kaplan for about 78.4% only. Actually, the highest only 88.6. All of them all 90, below 90%. So just now the stats that we mentioned, all from NUS, NTU, all that is all the high 90s. But all these private education all less than 90. And for Kaplan it's only 78.4% graduates who were employed. And this is only 78.4% employed is not full time, you know. It can be part time work, or full time, or internship, something like that. But if you're
mm.
talking about full time work, permanent job, it's there way lower, like 38.8%.
Like the ratio is much more like very far, is it?
It's like half.
Oh,
Yeah. So, but over the last year, it's not that bad lah. But I guess there's still the stigma that the companies would still prefer to hire people from local U. But then again, as we mentioned, it depends on the company also. Whether the company wants to hire a person that has high work ethics, rather than whether he or she comes from NUS or Kaplan.
mm.
Yeah, but still the rates are quite alarming if you compare a local U to private education like James Cook and Kaplan. Yeah. But okay, moving moving on to, okay, I won't say this as lighthearted, but it's less factual lah. Do you think it's possible to survive without a degree? I think we did mention you definitely can survive without a degree. But I guess in your culture it's more, doesn't matter what the work is, whether it's high paying or low
Yeah,
paying.
yeah, yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you still have the chance to work. But I think
It's more harder.
sorry.
It'll be much more harder. It would be much more harder for us to actually survive. But if in terms of like hungry, like as evident as how Filipinos want to work as very what blue collar
Mm.
working jobs determines the the hunger of work. And I feel like even if you have or don't have a degree, it all depends on hunger. If you,
Mm.
cause like yeah, if you're not hungry, you wouldn't work so hard.
Yeah, that's true. I
Yeah,
think I think okay, for my point of view, it depends on the how prestigious the company is. So
yeah,
let's say if it's a startup or a uh 1 year old business, right, compared to a MNC, a multinational corporation, I would say MNCs would want their employees to at least minimally achieve a degree. While startup, you basically, like, okay, you've got the work ethic, got the experience, you can use us as a stepping stone. And
yeah,
then if you want to stay with us, then you, okay lah, you want to upgrade yourself, you get a degree lor. But then in terms of the whether we can survive or not, it depends on the individual and what his uh lifestyle is. So if he wants a more like lepak lifestyle, really very minimalistic lifestyle, want to choose live in HDB, then maybe he might not need to earn so much lah. He or she might not need to earn so much lah. But if you want to have like a big house, want to have a big family, provide for your kids education, send your kids over to overseas, then you probably need to have a higher attain higher education level lah, because of how our society and company see it lah. Especially if you want to earn more money, you have to probably work in a more prestigious company, and as I mentioned, this prestigious company needs people with high level of education level. Yeah, but so in the end, basically, as you mentioned, if you want depending on your hunger level, if you really want to attain this degree, then by all means go ahead. But if you don't want, then you may be comfortable with this lifestyle, this minimalistic lifestyle, but then you're sort of lagging behind also. Yeah.
I wouldn't say lagging behind, but if they're choosing it, then it's actually very subjective. If they're so called lagging behind, because like if you were to say that, it's a bit. Um, wouldn't you think that it's a bit degrading if you kind of say if you're like
No,
lagging behind?
but the thing is, if I may say is lagging behind, okay, might be degrading in our point of view, but
Yeah.
the truth is, if you were to stay in a company, right, you want to be relevant. Your company push you to get a degree so that you can at least stay in a company, or get a high upper management level. Yeah, then they will want you to get a degree, right? You know, because that's how society is, right? So no matter how degrading or not degrading you might think, right? If they want to push you to get to improve yourself, get a higher education level, then by all means take the chance, lor. But if you don't want, then you are really lagging behind. What? It's like it depends on the survivability of your in the company. What? If you want to stay in this job, let's say the company asks you, tell you to, if you want to stay in this job, then you join well, get a degree, improve yourself. If you don't want, then you kena fired lah. You know, something like that. So I would say it's not really degrading lah. It's just that's how it is lah. That's how life is. Yeah. But then again, if that's what he or she truly wants, then okay lor, by all means lor. But then at the end of the day, the world is cruel lah. Yeah. It will always favor the ones that will keep progressing themselves. So ultimately, if you lag behind, you are just basically lagging behind. Lor. You may be comfortable, sure, but then your opportunities are dwindling. What? Yeah. Other people who have higher work ethic, or younger higher work ethic, and get attain a higher education level than you are, then obviously you lag behind. What? Yeah. But okay, in terms of the humanity aspect of it, yeah, that's just life lah. No matter how degrading it is, it's up to you lor. You want to lag behind lah.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. But then again, opportunities come your way, you should take it mah. Yeah. If you don't want, then you lag behind lor. No choice lah. Yeah. So what are some takeaways from working part time? For you working at Staff D. For me, I was a lifeguard, and then both of us NS and in school. What are some takeaways that you can get from these three experiences, and how can you apply it to your career when you graduate?
I think I really think that the emphasis on purpose is very like I have to say it again, the purpose thing, to always remind yourself of the purpose of why you're doing this, because if you don't have purpose, you don't have direction.
Yeah.
And people will just do things like anyhow, then you know you're kind of like judged lah, like you'd be more questioned than those people who have a passion, who has a purpose, and and also you also need to remind yourself of like you also need to constantly remind yourself like why are you staying consistent, and like why well, basically purpose lah. If you don't know what you're doing, then what's the point of continuing? You know. Yeah. How about you? I honestly just have to say about purpose, and that's all.
I
How about
think
you?
my number one and only one takeaway is how I see people and how I perceive them, so that I wouldn't be like them, and also whether if I were to start my own company, I would hire people based on based on the characters that I want. So especially in NS, like everyone say,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
the best place to actually see a
That,
diverse group of
yeah.
characters. Yeah, we have people, we have hardworking people, and we have people who just like slack. So I take that,
Agree. Agree.
and I know, and especially in school as well, I know if I were to start a company, I would hire the likes of you, like say Isaac, Subash, or Darren, or hardworking people. But I wouldn't hire people that slack lah, you know.
Mm.
So that's my number one takeaway from NS, and I can see in school as well. School assignment based, like group assignment, you know who are the hardworking, punctual types, and you know who are the ones that procrastinate a lot. Yeah, obviously we are not saying that we are perfect lah. We are always,
Yeah.
yeah, we're always improving
y-
ourselves, but
Yeah.
we both know that we have the discipline and the gall to at least push through adversities and at least prioritize work first rather than procrastinate. When we know our values, right, when we know our purpose in life, right, then we can find people that truly aligns
Our
with
values.
our values and ultimately the purpose.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned, you start a business, then you can hire based on those attributes.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the takeaway. So it's not more education, more on an education level, but it's more people centric. Yeah.
I think NS is a very huge like. I'm actually very thankful that I actually went to NS because like the amount of experience uh you actually can get like in terms of learning the types of people the colors of people
Mm.
you can find, and like it's just so mind-boggling like for you to see those kinds of characters,
Yeah.
and it it kind of like sets you an example of what you should be and what you should not be
Mm.
as well. Because like
Correct.
if you feel like those people are very like those types of people who are aren't doing that much, you find them like such a burden, that kind of thing.
Mm.
And again, not saying that I'm perfect. I'll also do slack around, but I slack at least I slack at the right time. So
Yeah, I mean you
um
give yourself breaks lah. But when it
yeah,
comes to work, you know when to work hard, play hard lah.
yeah, basically the
Yeah.
work ethic.
Yeah. I guess only I think you and me same lah. Only when we come to NS, then when we discover ourselves lah, then we truly can align our values with people that
Who
basically
has
share the same values lah. Yeah lah. But only before NS I couldn't I don't know who am I.
social stuff.
I slack a lot. I'm not so observant in this kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before the toxicity in no, not NS, IT, my diploma days. So it's like I hang out with the wrong group of people, you know. But
Mm.
when NS, when it comes to NS, then we discover ourselves. Then we start to have a different perception on people. Yeah, and then start to sort of filter out single people that truly align with us lah.
Mm.
Yeah. Um, what has education got to do with self improvement? Do you think there's a correlation?
Yeah, I do think. Yeah, I do think there's. I try to think that. Actually now I kind of have like this mindset where everything has a correlation to each other. For
That's true.
example, business and design. There's definitely gonna be some correlation to each other,
Yeah.
and yeah. So, um, my correlation between education and self improvement is it's not knowing um, that uh, n- uh, it's not being knowledgeable like of the things that you know like in school, but the habit of you learning something
Mm.
would be more efficient as you would have more experience learning stuff.
That's true.
So if you don't have experience learning stuff, then you wouldn't you wouldn't be as absorbent as to the people who are always learning something.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and
Then
yeah. That's
my
the that's the thing. How about you?
my take is the self improvement journey never ends. Obviously, education gives you a proper base and foundation to learn everything.
Yeah,
But and then again, if you boil down to education, you have to be open minded and always learning not just the education aspect of it, but from people as well. What are the advices they can give you? What are the things that they do that you can learn from, and what are the things that you feel that is toxic, so that you won't do in the future. Also, post graduation, right? When you are working as well, it gives you a mindset that life is just about learning, lor. You know.
Mm. Never
If
the you are the senior, but you are never the teacher.
yeah, the if you just stay stagnant, then you're not really close minded. You know. If
Mm.
the world adapt, you also don't know. The world constantly changing, you also cannot adapt, and you won't know.
Mm.
Yeah. On that note, we come to the closing remarks. Do you have any advice on uni or career tips that you can share, and any studying tips?
I actually found this saying like online. I mean, it's someone said this in one of the Instagram reels that I've been looking up. Because remember like the last episode, I mentioned that I still have Instagram. So yeah, that's like one of the main like reasons why I still keep it. So the what he says that um if you ever found yourself frustrated, not getting the logic or something, or not able to know the hows, eh, not able to know how to figure out a solution, is to always be curious, not furious. Like for example, coding. So if a computer will do exactly what uh what you tell it to do. So instead of being frustrated when something isn't working, question yourself, why is your current solution not working? So yeah, that's the one one basically one take on the studying or career things. So yeah,
What's the quote from?
quote IG or
Is it as in sorry, who wrote it?
the be curious, not furious. I actually did it. I don't know. I just wrote the whole gist of it. So let me just go to Google. I didn't know.
Like I don't know. Let's say Elon Musk. Maybe Hitler wrote it. I don't know.
Hitler,
Hitler.
don't be furious. No, why wouldn't he? Cause he's always furious, bro.
Don't he said don't be curious, be furious.
Eh? Did I say that?
No, you didn't say that. I mean, he will say the opposite.
Oh, it's Mark Lesser. Yes.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And you got that from Instagram, lah.
Yeah.
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 So that's where your the sort of the
Why?
advantage, yeah, the advantage of still having social media, lah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess my studying tip is to eliminate all distractions. Like I say phone, you put silent mode or you put like elsewhere. When you have a allocated time slot, let's say 3 to 4 hours, then you focus that on deep work, like really concentrate. I used to study with music. Now I find it like it's damn distracting, especially if
Mm,
it's
yeah.
if it's like smooth symphony, smooth jazz or symphony. I still find it quite
Okay.
distracting. Yeah.
Okay. It's actually very subjective lah. Cause some people they do work better if they are listening to classical and
Mm.
stuff. But I mean that's what my mom advised me to do, which is to listen to all those kinds of things. I actually tried this method of like whenever I'm studying, is to uh always play like Japanese flute. Is it Japanese or basically guzheng lah? Something like that. I think it's Chinese
Uh
guzheng.
huh. Uh huh.
Whenever it's very peaceful and like when you are like stressed or something, you just off your computer, go to some nature. Oh yeah, another tip. If you're feeling stressed about something, and you've been working for a very long time, go out, walk around, see the beautiful sceneries that you currently have. Right, doesn't matter where you are. There's definitely some sceneries that you get that it's very like peaceful and stuff. And even if you're in the city, just look at it, kind of like appreciate it and stuff. and then you start to kind of calm down, like um you start to get that energy to get to be in the zone again.
Mm.
So yeah, just learn how to meditate. I think meditate is a good okay. Learn how to kind of like switch your mind off for like studying for time being, because like if you're another tip, don't study for very long hours. That's a
Mm.
very good tip that I actually learned. Because like if you keep on you're focusing on the same thing for more than hours, won't you get tired? Like if let's say I ask you
Yeah.
to stand, if I
Correct.
ask you to stand for more than, like for example, you're in like in the immigration for from Singapore to Malaysia, then you stand there
Yeah.
for so long, you wouldn't want that, right? You
Yeah.
kind of want to sit down as well.
It's mentally
So
taxing. I agree.
yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah.
think I think that's where I don't know if you've heard of the Pomodoro technique.
I actually heard of it. Yeah.
Uh, I,
Oh,
I,
what
I have it on my watch lah, but I never used it before. But basically, is you study for 25 minutes, or you set a time lah, but mainly it's 25 minutes
mm,
of hard concentrated work, no distractions for 25 minutes only. That's where your what you mentioned comes in, the block by block instead of one shot, and then you rest
mm,
for 5 minutes. Then you rest for 5 minutes. This rest also must be hard earned rest. Don't think of work. Just rest. Then the next after the 5 minutes, the 25 minutes, then you think of rest. Sorry. then you think then you think of work. Then you think of work. Then cycle repeats lah. So 25 minutes of work, then 5 minutes of rest. So when you're working, don't think of resting. When you're resting, don't think of work. That's one technique. I've never used it lah, but I guess it definitely beats the it definitely is more effective than studying in one shot lah. But then again, I don't know about you, but for the past 1 year, all my work has been assignment based, and if it's exam, is all open book. So I really never got a chance to study. I mean, okay, I never got. It's not to say I never got a chance, but I choose not to study because it's open book. Yeah, but I guess if it's not COVID and it's closed book, then I'll use that technique lah. Yeah. So do you have any
I
more?
mean, I actually do. Okay. Another thing is, if let's say you're in school, finish the work at hand first. Like prioritize that first.
Mm.
I mean that's already given fact. Another thing is to uh when you're doing something, um, don't like, it can be anything. Don't drift your mind like apart from the things that you're doing. Be in the moment,
Mm.
okay,
Mm.
so that you won't have to like kind of revisit the lessons you have to go back to. Like for example, like, you'll find yourself not revising because you know what happened. If you know what happened, you wouldn't ask the theoretical questions like that's on the books. If
Mm.
you already learn inside, like uh, what's the lesson about, you don't need to okay, you do need to study, but you only need to study the things that you are unsure about. You see, now I think we have this misconception that we have that when it comes to studying is about studying everything like all over again, like revising everything all over again. No, studying is revisiting the things that you are very your that you are at the sorry, um where you are the weakest,
Mm.
the weakest, like for example subject, you
Yeah.
study that. Don't need to go all over because that will tire you out. I'm telling you this because N levels was my, like I've been studying like everything, where I should be putting all of the focus on the things that I'm weak at. So
Oh.
yeah,
Yeah.
focus on the weak points. Always focus on the weak points, um uh no matter how good that you're eh no matter how good you are in the other stuff, just focus on the weak points, and
It's
you know.
yeah. That's the first time hearing it. So that's a good advice. But also assuming you pay attention in class lah, and
Yeah,
you ask questions, and
yeah,
yeah lah. Basically, focusing, if you feel you're weak at this area, then you focus more on it lah. But also spend time on revising on those that you already know. You balance it out. Yeah.
Okay, when cause like I actually experienced this the cramming and stuff and all that. It's better if you prioritize the weaker stuff first. Cause the already the things that you know. I mean, of course, some of it can be um wrong. Like the ideas of it can be sometimes wrong, but but if you don't know some certain stuff, I think you rather should know everything rather than not know a particular thing. Like for example, social studies. Social studies like teaches about the social issues. Like for example, I don't know the MNCs and stuff. Like what happens if you never study about that? Then what if that subject comes to the exam? You
Mm.
wouldn't be prepared, right?
Yeah.
So like it's better to know everything than to focus on one thing.
Mm.
Yeah.
Correct. But if you take some time to study on the weaker aspect of work, then the things that you feel that you know leh. I mean you also need to sort of brush up. What? You cannot just focus entirely on the things that you're weak on. What? Either you balance it out or you do like a 3/4, 1/4.
Yeah.
If not, then I would say complacent, but then you
Oh
you
yeah,
might
yeah.
you might miss out
Then
you might
there's
miss
like
out things lah that you feel that you already know, but then actually you don't know. You lack certain information.
I'm just talking about like the cramming thing. Cause like
Ah.
if let's say there's no time already, then you rather just know just know these stuff that like these are the contents that it's in the topic that you are unfamiliar with, and then you're sort of ready lah. But
Mm.
I'm not. I'm never a advisor for cramming. That's like the last thing that you should do. You
Mm.
should always prioritize your stuff. Like no matter how uh no matter how painful. Like for example, you have like your friend's birthday, then you never go cause you need to study. Always prioritize your main uh your main goal, which is to finish your studies.
Mm.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Cause like
oh.
these birthdays can like get it's always every year, so there's always another chance. But for you taking for you affording to pay for your tuition,
Oh.
the one you cannot tell because financial is yeah, being financially stable is not something that's guaranteed.
Mm. Okay lah. So next time your birthday, I just give excuse here I got exam lah. So I don't go lah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
But then actually I free lah. But then I still got exam.
Oh. I mean, what? Then you're lying to me lah. That you are not free.
Well, I mean maybe I got like pop quiz then.
Off quiz?
Yeah.
Like how bullshit, bro.
Hey, but definitely higher chance than a scheduled exam. What. So I did like, bro, sorry, I got pop quiz. Cannot come, I
Never
must
mind,
study.
I can reschedule.
You
Don't
schedule
worry
your
about
birthday.
that. Yeah.
Then next week, sorry lah,
Oh.
another pop quiz. Yeah, holiday also got pop quiz. Brother, you
Yeah.
celebrate your birthday in like December, yeah. Your birthday June, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we push 6 months. We keep procrastinating. But I guess I can build on your advice. From day one, right, when you start school, then you slowly revise a bit, so that you prevent, as you mentioned, crowding, and basically cramming all the work towards the end of the semester lah. That's where your exam comes in lah. So don't cram lah. But if you are your other subjects quite steady, but then this one or two subjects not steady, then you towards the end you can prioritize them lah, which is your advice lah. But ultimately, don't cram lah. Go and study bit by bit from the first day onwards. Then at least get the foundation. Right. Yeah. So
Okay, one last bit because
sure.
I actually got a lot to share.
Okay, one last one.
If you're struggling with something, there's always your friends.
Really?
There's always your friends.
Oh, there's always your friends. I thought it's always your friends.
Oh no. There's always your friends. Your friends can help you. That's why they are. That's why you have classmates. Cause,
Mm.
cause if the school system doesn't have classmates, then you know. I mean, that's the point of having classmates.
Yeah, yeah.
As well,
Help each other lah.
help each other.
Assuming they on the same level lah.
Mm,
But also if you find someone struggling, you also can help lah. Like
mm,
help each other mah. I mean in US and other countries got some startups are in the business of group study, online studies to
yeah,
help each other. Yeah. So I guess study is all about being, it's like NS lah. We all in this together.
yeah.
Yeah. So I guess,
Oh, and it's really related with everything, no?
bro. Yeah, that's how the universe works. Yeah. Yeah. If you take opportunity wisely, then you see the connection. Now I start to see it. Yeah.
Crazy,
Yeah.
astronomical.
Yeah, astronomical, that's the word. Alright, with that, we have come to the end of the podcast. So, woo! Jinx.
What
So,
jinx? Is that
with that, bottles up,
what is that?
caps off.
That's all.
So, life is good.
So living well. See you guys in the next episode.
See you guys.
Thanks for watching. Oh,
Like and subscribe. We
yes,
only got
like
2 more subscribers to 10, and then we do a Q&A, possibly.
2 more
Peace.
about it.
Goodbye. I love you. Do the hard work even if you don't feel like it. Bye bye.